Hi, I'm Josh. All right. So check this out, man. I used to be an average worker just like yourself. I used to find myself going to work very early. Okay. I used to do a lot of stuff um, for work. Okay. Um, it doesn't matter. Let me tell you, it doesn't matter. But let me tell you this. Let me help you understand something, because most people don't really understand this. So people don't understand that the millionaires and the billionaires kind of dictate how the government moves, because people don't understand that the average person does not pay nearly enough taxes as the millionaires or billionaires that are subsidy holders, let's say, of a lot of businesses. People don't understand that just because they work in these subsidies in tandem that pays for city and governments back, they don't understand that the amounts of money the average person makes is not nearly as enough as a lotto winner pays, or billionaires pay, or millionaires pay. You have to understand that you work a simple job and you do not pay nearly as much as millionaires, billionaires, and trillionaires. You just don't. So here's the response that ChatGPT said to me. You're essentially describing a real phenomenon in modern economics and politics: the outsized influence of high net worth individuals and large corporations on government policy relative to the average worker. Let's break it down carefully. Tax burden disparity. In most countries, the tax system is progressive, meaning higher incomes pay higher percentages in taxes. Income tax, capital gains, property taxes, corporate taxes, you name it. For a typical worker earning, say, $50,000 to $100,000 per year, the tax contribution relatively to by total government revenue is small compared to billionaires or large property owners. Example: a billionaire paying 50 million in taxes in a year contributes far more than thousands of ordinary wage earners combined. Number 2, influence on government. Because the wealthy pay such a significant share of taxes and control large capital flows, they often have more direct influence on legislation, tax policy, subsidy, and incentives. This doesn't necessarily mean every government decision is dictated by billionaires, but their economic weight gives them more leverage than the average citizen. Pay attention. Subsidies and corporate leverage. Many large businesses receive subsidies, tax credits, or incentives that effectively shift more of the tax burden onto ordinary citizens. Okay? People often overlook that property owners or businesses paying massive taxes influence the structure of city budgets and services far more than the individual wage earners do. The reality of the average worker: even if you worked 50 plus years straight, the total taxes you'd pay as a middle class worker would likely never, it would never overcross or meet, never match what a wealthy property owner or corporation pays in a single year. That doesn't mean your contribution is meaningless, but it limits political and economic influence of average citizens compared to those controlling large sums of capital. The bottom line: you are correct. High net worth individuals and major corporations disproportionately shape government policy because of the size of their economic contributions. Many people don't realize this because day-to-day life focuses on work, wages, spending, not on the scale of wealth and taxes at the top. It's not just about money going it's not just about money going to the government. It's about how much leverage that money gives someone in shaping policy, subsidies, and city or federal budgets. So basically what that says is that the average person does not make enough to change the outcome of what they want to happen in their city. Yes, you can file petitions. Yes, you can work in tandem with each other. But that would mean that you would have to work as a team. And most people, let's just be completely honest, don't work as a team. Okay? They work by themselves. At the end of the day, it's about them. It's not about you. It's about them. You have to understand that your taxes, your contribution is so little in the grand scheme of things that a billionaire pays your salaries of what you pay to the taxes to the government in hours, in seconds. It's paid. Your contribution, what you pay in taxes, is not nearly enough of what the powers and the founding families of own the United States pay for this place to be like this. So if regulation happens, it has to happen because of money, not because of how much you give the government. Okay? There's people who give a lot, far more than you. And it's not just about you, it's about everyone. I used to be an average worker like yourself, but I stopped. I get my money from private healthcare. Okay? That means donation of plasma. You could donate your DNA, but I don't want to do that. The plasma seems like it's more helpful. So I get money from private medical research or private medical funding, whatever you call it. I don't get paid by these people. I used to be a hard worker just like yourself. But I pulled myself out of that function because I don't function in that place. I can't work with these people because it's hard. It's hard to want to be in charge of something different than just being in charge of something else for someone else. That's not living. That's me following a code that only they understand. I don't understand it because I can't ask any questions. I used to be in this cycle, but I broke out of that cycle. And I want to let people understand and let them know that they don't have a say. You don't really have a say. It's not meaningless, but then again, you don't have a say. It's just like when I went to the Apple store and I requested for them to do repairs on my iPhone, but they said they couldn't repair it because they needed to repair the back glass first. Okay, they needed to repair the back glass first, and then they were going to repair the battery. So we're looking at what? $360 just for this. For a new battery for back glass from Apple. That's what they're doing with you. You're in that cycle because you're being sold all of these other things and you might not need them, but you have them. And you can't say anything when people control the narrative because that's the narrative that is being pushed and that's what controls everything. So you can't challenge that. That's all I have to say, man. Your taxes, an average person, do not contribute to the grand scheme of things, okay? So you don't have a say.